morning, Buckfield. It's Tuesday, October 10th. Please rise for your Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yesterday was Indigenous Peoples Day. Please be respectful while watching this short video explaining the importance of this day.
In recent years, states, counties, and cities throughout the United States have increasingly been choosing to recognize Indigenous Peoples Day, often in lieu of Columbus Day. Both holidays take place on the second Monday in October. Last year, President Joe Biden became the first U.S. president to formally recognize the holiday. Though not yet an official federal holiday, a bill is pending in Congress to make it one. Columbus Day was made a federal holiday in 1934 and arose out of an earlier movement to honor Italian-American heritage during a time of persecution of Italian immigrants and following a mass lynching of Italian Americans. But to many Indigenous peoples, Columbus Day is an affront to a history of centuries of genocide, forced assimilation, and discrimination. The origins of Indigenous Peoples Day are from the 1977 First International NGO Conference on Discrimination Against Indigenous Populations in the Americas. One of the key recommendations to emerge from that conference was a refutation of the doctrine of discovery, the notion that Christopher Columbus discovered the Americas, which led to a declaration from the Pope that Spain owned all the Western Hemisphere and its peoples no longer had any rights to the land. Columbus, born in Italy, was an explorer whose ship landed in the Caribbean in 1492. He never set foot on the land, now known as the contiguous United States. Columbus and his men enslaved, raped, and tortured the native people they encountered, bringing with them the institutions of colonialism. Prior to Columbus's arrival, more than 60 million Indigenous people are believed to have lived in the Americas, with some saying 100 million. A little more than just 100 years later, there were about 6 million people remaining. A population decline so swift and substantial that researchers have determined the planet's temperature dropped by 0.15 degrees Celsius due to a decrease in greenhouse gases with the loss of so many people. Part of the motivation to replace Columbus Day with Indigenous Peoples Day is to challenge the doctrine of discovery and provide a more complete look at U.S. history. However, some believe that a holiday is not enough to remedy the injustices that Indigenous peoples have experienced and point out that no U.S. president has ever made an explicit apology for the treatment of Indigenous peoples. Holidays to honor Indigenous peoples also exist in Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Taiwan, Venezuela, Norway, Bolivia, Brazil, and elsewhere throughout the world. The UN International Day of the World's Indigenous Peoples takes place on August 9th each year.
If you are interested in working on the yearbook, please see Ms. Umstead. NWA is starting next month of October. For all freshmen, sophomores, and juniors, please bring a charged laptop to your class. The middle school soccer team had a great game against Gardner, which is undefeated. They came up short 1 goal, 3-4. Weekly word of wisdom from BC2M Club. Start where you are, use what you have, do what Peace.